Greetings and salutations everyone, my name is Wiggy and just 2 days ago I had the pleasure of being able to try out a brand new MMORPG that's coming out. And for once, it doesn't seem horrible. I am genuinely surprised. This one really feels like it brings you back to the classical era of MMORPGs, back when they had more depth and sustenance. The game in question is of course Legends of Aria. No, not the Aria from Game of Thrones. Wrong thing entirely. Anyway, now where to begin when talking about this MMORPG? There's just so much, and it's fantastic. But I guess I'll start off by saying it's a non-linear sandbox open world MMORPG, and it has no loading screens to my knowledge thus far. And Legends of Aria really reminds me of MMORPGs like Ultima Online and RuneScape. But anyway, rambling over, let's get into a little bit more detail. Legends of Aria has a living world, with monsters seemingly having their own objectives in the game. Not to just stand there and wait for a player to come and kill them, or for them to just look pretty, if they could look pretty. I mean, it's a goblin, and a skeleton, and a bear. I mean, if you find those pretty, then, you know, good for you. Anyway, they have purpose and they interact with the world around them. This is something I've seen in Ultima Online, for instance, but nothing I've seen in newer MMORPGs. So, for an example, the monsters would attack each other, be it the wildlife like bears or skeletons attacking goblins. Which was helpful at times, but also quite painful. Especially when I was just trying to kill some goblins and, you know, take their coin purses. It was a lot harder than I originally thought, but still easier than killing 1,000 giant rats and taking their coins. There's gotta be an easier way to make gold. Now, when starting Legends of Aria, I started off in one of the many city choices you can pick between at the very beginning when creating your character. There, I was left to my own devices, free to discover the world and interact with the NPCs around me and ultimately decide my destiny, as there was no tutorial questing area that you can take quests from and level up, or any kind of hand-holding whatsoever. There was no floating exclamation points ready to guide me to the NPC that has a quest. You actually gotta interact with NPCs and see whether or not they need help or not through the dialogue options you have available. Or you can simply leave the city and harvest and gather materials from the world around you and become a master crafter, or a dead adventurer. It just depends on where you roam, really. Something else interesting about Legends of Aria is that it seems to have no levels. Instead, you're given skills. These skills can be leveled up, like leveling up your stealth, leveling up your leather armor, and etc. There's so many different skills you can level up, which are all leveled up by either using that specific skill or by learning them at an NPC who's proficient at that said specific craft, which, by the way, you will have to find out who is proficient in that area by talking to them again. And when you finally do find that person that can help you train in that area, they're overpriced. Do you know how many goblins and giant mutant rats I would need to kill to be able to upgrade one of my skills? Like 100 goblins. I would need to have a wagon full of their corpses just to be able to upgrade one skill. NPCs, man, they want to rob you of all your gold, your hard-earned gold. Do not trust them. Either way, being able to level up every skill or weapon type helps when shaping your character the way you want to within the world of Legends of Aria. So you don't just live the way you want, you play that way as well. This is made even more so due to the karma system, which will allow you to take it one step further, allowing you to either become a good, heroic person, a hero people can look up to, or a roguish knave, ruffian, who will murder and kill anybody who comes in their path. Yes, the karma system will allow you to choose your alignment, which will affect the gameplay, which is a nice feature to have, especially for something that has so much player freedom. So if you like playing on the wrong side of the law, you can. Or you can be a hero, like me. No matter which side of the law you choose, you will still be able to create your very own home, if you so desired, which I stumbled upon, mind you, whilst I was running back to town after a long day of murdering the native wildlife, bears, rats, skeletons, and half-naked goblins that were stupidly aggressive and will literally chase you down to the ends of the earth. From what I could see, houses could be built at any point in the world, with resources needed to be gathered in order to complete the building. I'm assuming the resources you will need to complete the building will get larger and larger depending on the plot size you decide to buy. All in all, there was just so much to be done in Legends of Aria, like collecting items so I could finally complete my crafting quest that I had since the beginning of the game, trying to tame a horse instead of accidentally killing it, leveling up my melee thrusting skill, finding out how to buy arrows so I don't need to level up my thrusting skill, become a super rich archer, and make an archery statue of my accomplishments, finally showing everyone archers are better than mages. You know, the normal things one would like to be able to complete in a non-linear MMORPG. It was so much fun, and the choices you could pick between were vast. And it never really struck me as a slow MMORPG, even though the combat is rather simplistic and basic, it somehow manages to capture my attention without boredom. So, Legends of Aria is far from a disappointment in my opinion, and is finally out of all of its alpha beta tests and will be playable via early access on Steam in 6 days from the posting of this video. Or you could pre-order it and get a head start. There's also founders packs that can be bought, which seem to give you nice capes, titles, and extra furniture. Nothing extreme or game-breaking, which is a relief. I'm quite sick of early access cash grabs. So guys, with all of this being said and done, what do you think of this MMORPG? Are you excited for it? To return back to an MMORPG that has depth, one you can live in instead of visiting for a brief moment due to eye candy and jiggly butt physics? Which, don't get me wrong guys, there's nothing wrong with eye candy, but you know what? Actually, never mind. Eye candy's great, period. So, thank you everyone for watching. I'd love to know what you guys think of Legends of Aria in the comment section. But for now, good day, night, or afternoon, wherever it is where you are, and I'll be seeing you next time. If you'd like to stay updated with everything and anything MMORPG related, do not forget to check out our website or our personal channels at STIX's Bay and Wiggy the Heroic.